Hello, English students! First of all, I want to say I'm sorry because I just realized that I sent you some emails about learning Spanish. I'm also a Spanish teacher, but you signed up to learn English, and I keep my English and Spanish contacts in the same website, the same system. So sometimes I forget and I send the Spanish emails to the English learners like you. So I'm really sorry about that. And in the future, I will be more careful to not send you any Spanish emails. And I wanted to give you this lesson on pronouncing the past tense in English to say that I'm sorry for sending you Spanish emails. So here we are, pronouncing the past tense of regular verbs in English. Well, how do you do this? Well, it all depends on the verb. What sort of consonant sound does it end with? Okay, there are two types of consonant sounds in English. There's the voiced consonant sound and the unvoiced consonant sound. So the way you can find if a consonant sound is voiced or unvoiced is all you need to do is place two fingers on your throat and make the sound of the letter or the consonant that you're thinking is it voiced or unvoiced. So for example, we have these letters t, l, m, s, sh, b, f, g. Remember, we make the sound. We don't say the name of the letter, we just make the sound. So if you feel a vibration in your throat, then that means that this consonant sound is voiced. If you don't feel any vibration, if most of the air when you make the sound is coming out of your lips and not out of your throat, then this sound is unvoiced. This is very important for pronouncing the simple past of English correctly. So, which ones are voiced, which ones are unvoiced? Well, here we have the unvoiced ones, right? T, s, sh, f. You can see that there's no voice vibration going on in here. It's mostly the air coming from my lips. T, s, sh, f. Right? So those are unvoiced. And then the voiced consonant sounds are like these, right? B, g, l, m, n, v, w, y, z. These are voiced. You can hear my voice when I say these. So if a verb ends in one of these voiced consonant noises, sounds, then you need to have a d sound at the end of the ed, right? So actually, a lot of people make this mistake where when they're trying to pronounce this word, rub is like this, you rub your skin. So if you want to say in the past, rub, some people say rubbed, because you see the ed and you think, okay, I should pronounce the e. No, in this case, no, you should not pronounce the e. Forget the e is there. What you need to do is you need to combine the b and d sound, put them together. So it'll be like rubbed, bd, bd. So it creates that sort of strange consonant combination, rubbed. If you say rubbed, people will still understand you, but it won't sound as good as when you say rubbed. The same thing for the next one. Bag, in the past, bagged. Okay, gd sound. Next one, pulled. Next one, fumed. Not fumed, not pulled, just pulled, fumed. Then turned, cleared, halved, mowed, played, realized. There you go. Now you know how to pronounce a verb that ends in a voiced consonant sound in the ed, the past simple. Now let's look at verbs that end in unvoiced consonant sounds. Verbs that end in some letter like f, k, p, s, x, sh, ch, or some sound like that. So in this case, the ed at the end of the past tense will sound like a t. It'll sound like t. It won't sound like ed. It won't sound like ed. No, it won't sound like d. No, it sounds like a t. So we have the word puff, puffed. walk, walked, talk, talked. Do you hear that? Talked. We don't say talked, we say talked. Then we have jumped, jumped, and kissed, kissed, and boxed, boxed, kst sound. Rushed, rushed, and watched, cht, watched. If you pronounce it like that, you pronounce it perfectly. Native English speakers will be like, wow, that's great pronunciation. And now we get to the special consonant sounds, T and D. So verbs that end in a T or a D, these are special. And then you actually will pronounce the ed sound at the end of these verbs, okay? In the simple past tense. So for example, end ends in a D. Start ends in a T. In this case, we have ended, started. Ended, started. Defended, broadcasted. Only when you have a verb that ends in T or D do you actually say the ed sound at the end of the simple past verb. Here's another special case. Verbs ending in vowel sounds. Vowel sounds are voiced. A, E, I, O, U, or A, E, I, O, U, or whatever sort of long or short vowel sounds, they're voiced. So they actually sound like the same, like voiced consonant sounds. It has a D sound at the end. Not ed, just D. Okay, so we have freed, skied, echoed, shooed. Okay? So now it's your turn to practice. You will see a verb on the left, and you have to guess how to pronounce it. Not really guess, because I just went through how to pronounce it with you, but you'll see how to pronounce it. So the verb hug, g, g, that's a what? Voiced or unvoiced sound? G is a voiced sound. So that means that you have to put a D sound at the end of the word. So we have hugged, hugged, not hugged, no, hugged. Next one, rent. Rent ends in a T, right? T is a special case where we actually pronounce the ed sound. So we get rented, rented or rented. Then we have observed, observe, v. This is a voiced sound. So we have a D again, D sound. Observed. Not observed, observed. Wish. This ends in unvoiced, right? So we get wished. Then we get knock, knock. Ends in k sound, which is unvoiced. So we get knocked, knocked. Someone knocked at the door. Then we have type, p, p. That's unvoiced, right? Typed, typed. Cool, l. That's voiced, right? Cooled, cooled. Fry, that ends in a Y sound, that's a vowel sound. So remember, the vowel sounds also take the same rule as the voiced consonant sound, so it has to be fried, fried. Bluff, f. F is unvoiced, so we get bluffed. Pound ends in a D. Remember, a D is a special case, so we get pounded, pounded or pounded. And bake, k, k. K is voiced or unvoiced? It's unvoiced, k, k, k. Baked, baked. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Sorry again for the Spanish emails, and I promise that I'll do much better with sending you only English emails. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.